All right. Hey, hey, loves. How y'all doing today on this lovely Sunday? So I just want to make sure that we are live now. Okay, okay, okay. Loving it, loving it. All right. All right. Okay. So I just wanted to make sure that we was on here or live. All right. All right, y'all. So let's get to it. Now, today we talking about taking charge of your environment. Right. We gotta talk about taking charge of your environment. The thing most people are scared of. So we're here now. All right. So now, the reason why we're going to be talking about that is because it's so important. Okay. So I apologize. This is my first time doing the live. Uh, so let me just go here. All right. All right. So wherever y'all watching from, let me know y'all watching, right? Um, because I really am interested in hearing what y'all have to say and things of that nature. And we're gonna get into it. I apologize, I'm running behind. But the reason why I'm running behind is because I currently have my little Queenster here, right? So I have my grandchild. And what I want to say about that is I was supposed to go live at 8. And, I've been doing the labs on Facebook and YouTube, but by watching my grandson for my daughter, right? So, um, and having him more, one of the things I'm learning is the schedule, everything get difficult, right? So it comes a time where I had to say, okay, you know what? Maybe doing like having an exact time going that live exactly at 8 p.m. It might not work out exactly the way I want it to work out, right? But it's important for me to still go live anyway and just maybe start tailoring my environment since I know I'm going to be watching him more. He's going to be around more. Then guess what? It's time to start tailoring my environment to meet the needs of what's really going on, the reality in my life, instead of trying to keep getting frustrated and more frustrated because I'm expecting a infant, right? So if y'all don't know, I just had my little first queens to my grandson, right? Hey, shout out to my grandson. But my little queenster, he just turned 2 months. And so if any of y'all deal with 2 months, y'all already know that they got their own schedule. And so, with that being said, I'm here on Sundays, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But if I'm a little late, then just know that's because I got my little queenster. So y'all bear with me, okay? But now we got that out the way. We about to go on and get on into it. So make sure that y'all go ahead. If you are looking for more than motivation, just go ahead and hit that subscribe button, y'all. 'Cause I'm telling y'all, ain't nobody out there doing clarity like Queen A doing clarity, okay? Ain't nobody out there talking about what we talk about right here. Why? Because everybody's focused on the negative aspect of things. But if you know, one of the things you know about what here on Slapping with Truth on this podcast, what we do, we ain't worried about trying to, make sure that we go viral off nonsense, nonsense, and that's why we talking about taking charge of your environment because with confidence, not just taking charge, but take charge of it with confidence. If most people that be in my situation where I am right now, they would give up. They would give up. They would say, "Well, you know what? It's 9:30. I was supposed to go live at 8. So what do I do?" Right? That's what most people would say. But the fact is that no. For one, I'm still go live. I'm still supposed to do the podcast on Sundays. So yeah, I have my grandson, but just be honest with the people and let them know. So I'm being honest with y'all, just letting y'all know. So let's get to it. Now, with that being said, we gotta start taking charge of our environment. Look around at our environment, y'all. Look at the environment that we in. If y'all could look around, what do you see? Can y'all tell me what y'all see? If y'all looking around, what do you see? Right? If you looking around right now, I could tell you something that I see. I don't know if this is what you see, but this is what I see right here. I see people not paying attention to their environment at all. Right? That's why all the negative things is popping. All the drama is popping. All these things are popping. And you know why it scares me? You know what the biggest fear is for me? Because a lot of these people, they're claiming to be successful individuals, right? They're claiming to be people or individuals that you all should look up to, that your kids should look up to, that my kids should look up to. But at the end, I'm wondering, are these individuals really individuals that we really want our youth to look up to? Because I can tell you one thing I'm starting to notice is nobody's really paying attention to their environment. Now let's talk about why do I say nobody's paying attention to their environment. Well, let's talk about what environment is. So let me share my screen real quick. Let's get that's what is environment, right? You have to really know what environment is. So let's get to that. And I'm gonna share my screen real fast before we do that. So let's get to it. Talk about exactly what that is, right? Because a lot of y'all, I don't even think y'all really sure on what's going on. And you think that you're paying attention to your environment, but you have no clue about the little things that you're not paying attention to. And we're gonna talk about that because like I said, this ain't a motivational channel, right? I'm not a motivational coach, I'm a clarity coach. So let's bring up clarity. One, who's not paying attention to their environment? And why do I say that? Okay. So let me go here and I am going to share my screen real fast. Okay. So So y'all can see my screen right here, right? Guess what do you see? What do y'all notice about this? So you see environment, right? The definition for environment is the surroundings or conditions in which a person, animal, or plant lives or operate. Let's talk about that again. The surroundings or conditions in which a person, animal, or plant lives or operates. So this is why I say right here that a lot of individuals are truly not paying attention to their environment. They're not. You're not. Because one of the things we know is, right, that a lot of individuals, let me get out of here real fast. I can see that, but get out All right. So one of the things that, if you notice right here, it said the surroundings or conditions in which a person, animal, or plant lives or operates. Now, let's talk about this for a second. Why is nobody's really paying attention to their surroundings right now? And if you think that I'm not playing, think about the streets. They're filled with glass, right? Nobody's really paying attention to their surroundings. We got trash everywhere, right? Or conditions in which a person, animal, or plant lives or operates. So we have a lot of things that's going on that nobody's really paying attention to. The way we live, the way we operate. That's very important. And if you think I'm lying, let me just stop sharing my screen for a minute. So now we know that environment is the surroundings or conditions in which a person, animal, or plant lives or operates. And I'm gonna stop sharing my screen for just a second. The reason why I say that a lot of people ain't taking this seriously is because look at our street corners. I don't care what block you from. I don't care what neighborhood you from. Look at the street. We start to see a lot of glass. We start to see a lot of trash, a lot of homes, right? And then, so, a lot of homes, we see people not taking care of their homes like they used to. They don't clean up like they used to. Well, it's part of your environment. And reason why that's very important because that shapes the person you are. Not you will become, that you are. And that's why I wanted to talk about that. So for those of y'all don't know me, my name is Queen A. Like I said, I'm not a motivational coach, I'm a clarity coach. And I apologize today. So a lot of things been going on. So I know I'm a little off on this live, but I can promise you, look at my other lives. I'm usually hype. but I have my little Queensley here, so I'm trying to keep it down a little bit. Now it's kind of causing me to be out, so I think I might just have to get it to the groove. What y'all think? I just get it to the groove? Queen A, just get into the groove. Okay, with that being said, if we when we looking at entrepreneurs, when we looking at organizations, when we looking at team leaders, we're seeing the same thing happening in these organizations. Why do y'all think a lot of nursing homes is closing down? Why do y'all think a lot of business in general is closing down? So I'm in Cincinnati, we got a lot of frishes, we got a lot of nursing homes, we got a whole lot of organizations that have great potential, but they're not lasting long. They're closing down. Businesses, matter of fact, some of these businesses been around for 20 plus years. What changed? Can anybody guess what changed? I could tell you what changed. The environment. The environment. Yeah. The environment. And the reason why I say that, so I want to talk about, for y'all that might not know, my mom, right, she just got her leg cut off. So my mom just got her leg cut off and she's in the best spirits she ever been in her life. When I say she was in great spirits before they cut her leg off and after, she was even in even better shape. Like her spirit just, I can't explain it. I believe everybody needs to talk to her if you're, an amputee and you wonder, because I don't know how she does it, but she did it. But to make a long story short, right? So my mom had her leg cut off. And one of the things I want to touch on is I had to go, me and my brothers, my sisters, we had to make a decision on what nursing home to put her in. So it's a nursing home, like right across from where I stay at. It's a nursing home. And of course, who wouldn't want to pick that nursing home first? I'm like, man, this would be perfect because I could go visit my mom, right? Because if my mom getting her, I want to go chill with my mom. Me and my mom, we chill, we have fun, we laugh, we talk, we joke. But, I go to this nursing home. Yeah, when I say I go in this nursing home, it's tore up. Like the floor is tore up, bugs on the floor. And then she opens the door to shows me like a room that my mom would be in, and it's flooded. Like flooded floors, tore up and everything. She shuts it back like, oh my God, it's worse than it was earlier. Then we walking around, everything look dirty. Everything look old, right? The staff look like they don't really care too much. So then I say, do y'all have bugs? And she say, no, we don't got bugs, but she not knowing that I'm sitting there looking at the bugs. So I say, so what's that? And she said, oh, I don't know where that came from. I don't know where that came from, but we got to take care of that. But I'm going to tell you something about when you a clean person, you can tell when a bug been there for a while, right? Like, nah, that look like that been there for a while. I don't think that just popped up today, right before we came in here. And it was dead. And you could tell by the look on it, it was a resident in the room, a resident that was in the room, because it was like she was showing me somebody else's room and they had two people in the room. You know, the residents, I looked on her face and the look on her face told me everything. Like, oh nah, we got more than that, so probably. So not, but no, for real. And I say that to say it was sad because now imagine these nursing homes, they're supposed to be ain't they supposed to be getting inspected by the state or something like that? So we have organizations that's supposed to be inspecting these nursing homes, right? They're supposed to be inspecting them, but yet I mean, how are they remaining open? And then I can see why they're closing down. Because I can tell you right now, if I was in the healthcare field and you hired me on and like started working there and you told me you wanted me to clean that, I would quit. Because I'm not about to clean that mess, right? I'm not about to clean up somebody else's mess. That's obviously been here like mess for years. And it just had me thinking, this is the problem that we're seeing out here in society. Like, right? This is the problem that we're seeing out here. And if you think I'm lying, look around. Look around. I don't know if y'all know this, but nobody seems secure no more, especially in the medical field. And it's sad to say because if you don't know, I help organizations and team leaders. I help them with leadership development. I help them understand who they are. Help them understand what respect looks like for them and all these different things. And just to go there and to see how nobody cared. Then it clicked, it hit. Nobody cares about their environment no more. When we walk into Family Dollar, when we walk into all these little Dollar Generals, whatever, what do you see? They're on their phone, right? They eating, they listening to music, right? But the store is filthy. The shelves are empty. I'm just saying. You see what I'm saying? And then they wonder why they shutting down. But y'all hiring people who don't care about the job. And I know you're like, oh, don't nobody want to work no more. No, People don't want to work for you no more because you don't know how to treat your team. You done lost your way. You forgot about the environment that you created. It started off good, and somewhere along the way, we see a lot of team leaders, organizations. Why is it that along the way, somewhere you forget? Is it because you start making the money? You start making the money and you forget? So now our nursing homes got to close. Now our elderly got to suffer in there. Is that what we doing now? I'm asking y'all. So I'm just asking. I'm asking my team leaders. I'm asking my organizations. I'm asking anybody that's, especially if you're in the healthcare field. I would love to know the answer to that. Reason why? Because I help organizations gain clarity in them areas. Like if you have a leadership, right? Any type of leadership development, you're like, you know what? It's not developing. Like I do have leadership, but they're not moving, and I don't understand why. I do have a team, but nothing's getting done. Right? I do have people in charge, but they're not following the mission. They're not joining the plan. They're like they have lost the alignment. That's where Queen A come in. That's where we come in at. And I'm gonna tell you now, a lot of y'all lost y'all way because you worried about the bag, and that's all you cared about. You forgot about the customer. You forgot about the person who bringing you the bag. Like, if the person who was in charge of these nursing homes, per se, since we just speaking on nursing homes today, right? If the person who was in charge of these nursing homes, right, if they really took their time, and I'm talking about really took their time with the employees, really took their times with the cleaning crew, really took their times and had meetings, really took their time for training, really showed the people that they cared, right? Do you think we would have these problems? I can tell you right now, we won't. We won't. Nobody wants to leave a job that they're comfortable at. Nobody wants to leave a job where everybody is on point and we all get along and everybody we just getting it done, right? And we making good money. Nobody wants to leave them organizations. The organizations that we see closing down, do you notice are the organizations where nobody seems to care? Nobody seems to care, right? They just chewing when you walk in. How may I help you? They on their phone, right? They on their phone. You talking to them, they like things need to be stocked, nothing's getting stocked. Floor need to be swept. They talking, running their mouth, outside smoking a cigarette, right? These are the organizations that we see that's not lasting long. And you know what the scary part is? Do you know what the scary part is? So let's bring up the definition of environment again. Let's bring up a definition of environment. Do you know what the scary part is for me? That so I didn't mean that one. I will bring up I didn't mean to share the screen of me. Y'all don't want to see me, right? So let me go back. And I'm new to this. So I'm now streaming from um Zoom and I'm gonna get better with this, y'all. I'm gonna get better. So I'm new to this. So don't be getting on here with all that because I'm new to this, okay? But I'm also true to this. So that means I'm getting better with this. All right. But no. So let's go back to the definition of environment. The surroundings or conditions in which a person, animal, or plant lives or operates. But nobody's paying attention to these things. But everybody speaks about their environment and where they come from and what this, but you're not taking care of it. You know, everybody talk about their hood, but then you go to the hood and y'all throwing trash in your hood. You said it's your hood, but you throwing trash in it. This is what you say. I'm just telling y'all what you say. Right? Breaking glass in it. Right? You claim that's your company, your organization, right? That's the condition in which a person, animal, or plant lives or operates. Your company. That's a place of you operate. But you don't even talk to your team. You don't make sure it's clean. Like you don't have meetings, so make sure everybody's on the same page. And then you wonder why it's not succeeding. Does that even make sense? It doesn't make sense. And this is why I focus on these things like this, because one of the things I noticed that everybody is focusing on motivation. Everybody want to get you motivated. But guess what? I'm gonna tell you right now. Let me tell you something. Motivation don't last, but clarity do. And that's why I'm a clarity coach and not a motivational coach. So if you're looking for a motivational coach, then guess what? You know? And I'm not, and they're great to have. Go get one. You know? Go get him. But I'm just telling you, this is not that channel. This is for people who's looking for more than motivation. They're looking for clarity. That way they can move even when they're not motivated. That's what this is for. Even when you're not motivated, so you can move. All right. And they even have another definition down here. So what is the other definition? It say the natural world as a whole or in a particular geographical area, especially as affected by human activity. Let's say especially as affected by what? Human activity. It didn't say by animal activity. It didn't say by plant activity. It's affected by our activity. You know why I say that? Did you know why I say especially affected by human activity? Not plants or animals, because plants, they're going to do their job. They know what job they have to do and they're going to do it no matter what, right? They understand the assignment when it comes to their environment. Animals, animals, they're going to what? Do their job no matter what. No matter what the environment is, that animal is going to do its job because it understands the assignment when it comes to its environment. Meaning that if an animal eat meat, it's going to eat meat, right? If an animal eat veggies, then it's going to be eat veggies, right? So y'all gotta understand, you don't see animals that eat meat eating fruit. It don't work like that. You don't see animals that eat fruit eating meat unless something's wrong and they've been tampered with. But on the flip side, humans, instead of us focusing on what we need to eat, we eat everything, right? Whatever we think we can eat. Not what the fact is. We focus on feelings. See, humans, we are feelings. We are feeling creatures. We love focusing on what we feel like, right? I feel like eating this bag. I feel like eating that candy. I feel like doing this, right? We all do it. That's why it's mainly affected by us. I'm talking about even our weather is being affected by us. Don't get foods, right? We love playing with Mother Nature and then wondering why the environment responds the way it does because it says what is especially affected by us. But we don't seem to understand that, right? So where in the place you operate, the place you live, your surroundings, that's your environment. So as a business leader, as a team leader, right? It's your job. If you the CEO, you the CEO, you the GM, you the team lead, whatever it is, it's your job to make sure that the environment is clear on what's going on. It's your job to make sure the environment is clean. It's your job to make sure that everybody's on the same page in that environment, that organization, that space is your job. So with that being said, if it's your job, why are we not doing it? Why do we don't feel the need to do it no more? That's what's happening. Yeah, we gonna slap them with truth tonight. A lot of y'all ain't just don't feel like doing it. That's why a lot of these nursing homes closing down because y'all just don't feel like taking care of them. That's why a lot of these grocery stores closing down because y'all just don't feel like making sure that we eating healthy, right? That's why these farms is closing down, right? I mean to say that's why grocery stores getting empty, not closing down. Grocery stores getting empty because they ain't worried about making sure that environment or health, right? And farms are closing down, which the farms are starting to come back though. Pay attention, farms are coming back because people are starting to notice that hey, without agriculture, right, we won't be here. We won't make it long. So I ask you as a team lead, as a CEO, if you have a team that you're looking to motivate, right? If you have a team that you're looking to motivate, make sure you reach out to somebody or you notice that they ain't moving, then that's what Queen A is for. Reach out to me, right? And if it ain't me, find somebody else. But either way it go, make sure that you get structure in the environment, right? And in order to do that, you got to have clarity. That's how you do it with confidence. How can you be confident in the way you lead your environment or your team or your organization, right? Because that's all your environment, right? How can you be confident in the way you lead that space if there's no clarity up here? So the first things first is you need clarity up here. So you got to go back to the basics because it all started right here. Why did you start this? What was the mission? What was the value? What was the purpose? Right? What did it look like when it first started? What was we doing that we ain't doing now? But it all starts here with clarity. That's how you can do it with confidence. 'Cause then I could say, I can confidently have a meeting with my team. I can confidently, I can confidently inspire the cleaning services to keep it clean. I can confidently, talk to my team, make sure we all on the same page. I can confidently make sure that I demonstrate how to do this service or, run this line or whatever it is so that my team know I'm confident, because guess what? We're gonna have weekly meetings. Yeah, right? But I want to make sure that my environment, my space is together. And what we're seeing is they're all coming apart because everybody wants the money, but nobody wants to do the job. Everybody wants the money, but nobody wants to clean. Everybody wants the money, but nobody wants the team. Everybody wants the money, but I could just go on and on and on. So make sure that y'all subscribe to this page, okay, y'all? So I know we got off a little rough. It was rough, rocky when we first started because I got my little quaint sound. That's why I'm being quiet. If you listen, you see me, hear me out being quiet. But that's what I'm talking about, okay? So I really hope y'all got something from this. And the one thing I want you to do, if you are a team lead, if you run an organization, right? First thing I want you to do is subscribe to Queen A, right? Or subscribe to Queen A Speaks, right? On all platforms. And then, but the real thing I want you to do, right? Subscribe to Queen A if you like. If you like, no push, no push. But I would love for you to be here. I love planting seeds clarity. But the one thing I really want you to focus on, this is the serious thing, is taking a look at your organization, taking a look at your team. Where can you plant a seed of clarity? What's missing, right? If you feel like it's in shambles, maybe the stocks ain't being, the shelves ain't being stocked. Maybe the place is dirty. Maybe the team is not just, they're not inspired, right? They're not motivated to do anything. Then we need to figure out why. So that's what you need to be doing. A lot of organizations are closing down just from, you know, not focusing on their environment, which is their company, which is their household, which is here. All right. So I want you to look in them areas, find out what's missing, and then also find out what can I do now, right? What can I do now? Whether it's talk to my team, can I schedule a meeting, right? Can I go ask questions to see how do they feel like it's going? Do they maybe see if they need more clarity? Can I check the operation manual, make sure it's up to date, right? But these are things that you need to ask yourself. And if you need somebody to come in and help you get clarity on that, and to, because we do have I do group coaching, I do one-on-one coaching as well, right? So if you need somebody to come in and plant that seed, that's Queen A. We have our Seeds of Clarity program. But most importantly, what I want y'all to do not forget is share this with the organization, a team lead, or maybe just an individual who's not sure on why their environment is not shaped the way that they think it should be shaped. I can guarantee it's because they're not looking at the environment. They're not paying attention to what's missing in the environment. They're not paying attention to, why the environment shaped the way it is in the first place. Or questions you need to be asking yourself. Right. So I'm out of here. I got my little queen. I know I got my grandson. So we will be slapping y'all with truth air on Sundays now instead of Wednesdays. So I do have to take that down. Because I know it still say Wednesdays, but no, the podcast drops first day of the week, Sunday, so we can give y'all some inspiration at the beginning of the week. I know we started a little rocky in the beginning, but I do apologize. But anyway, I made it right. It was late, but I made it. So y'all know up until the day where I'm not watching my little queen no more, I would love for y'all to be here. So I'll definitely have it in there. So join and just if I'm not here, I will be here. I promise. Okay. I'll be here. It's just I can't dictate when the 2-month-old is going to eat around this time. So I be, thinking I got it. And then as soon as I was about to go live, he was like, I said, okay, all right. All right. And some days I might just have to bring him in here with me so he can speak to you all while we go live. But either way it go, it has to be done. Whether it's, we getting it done later or we getting it done with him by our side. But either way it go, it has to be done. No more not getting it done. Right. Well, that's all I got for y'all. Make sure y'all subscribe to this channel. Next week will be much more better because I'm new to this. The way I went live today, and I have my little queen, so I'm new to like this whole thing. So I know it's like I just feel like I'm not energized or myself today. But guess what? That's clarity, right? So I don't feel like I am, but the fact is I still showed up and I still delivered the message. And that's what matters most. If nobody else loves y'all, Queen A does later.